Welcome back, everybody, to Kinda Funny's Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. Of course, I am Tim Geddes, and I got my partner in love, Nick Scarpino.
Happy to be joining you once again at the table near this storied, cold brick wall.
It feels good. It feels good to be back. There's a vibe that these Love and Sex Stuff After Darks have that none of our other content seems to touch, seems to match, seems to be able to feel.
We do a lot of great things here in this office, most of which I enjoy. But this piece of content is my absolute favorite one to do. It is such an awesome opportunity to talk to people, maybe help people, and if nothing else, just have a few good laughs and explore some subject matter we don't often get to explore here at Kinda Funny.
One of my favorite things is how often people praise us for actually tackling the stuff like head on and trying to be real about it and not trying to be assholes. But that's me, of course, Tim Geddes and Nick Scarpino. But we are joined today by two very special gentlemen that I would like to introduce that throws all of that out the window. Let me introduce to you Mr. Craven Moorhead and Mr. Ben Dover.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's Craven Moorhead.
And it's Ben Dover.
I love that name. It's great to see you, Ben. I'm so excited for tonight, of course. Tonight, we get a little sensual. Tonight, we get a little hot. Tonight, we find a way to break Nick Scarpino.
Whoa.
In a sexual way. Of course, you, Kinda Funny best friends, can tune in and enjoy tonight's conversation. If you'd like to write in with a spicy question, please do that in the YouTube and or Twitch chat. If you would like to get on call and have these two incredible, generous lovers talk to you directly, you can join our Discord right now via the link in the chat and join our center stage. Raise your hand. We'll be glad to bring you up on center stage and have a nice sexual conversation with you. That's all from Craven Moorhead for now.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, you can call in with your questions about love, sex, or stuff. It doesn't need to be related to romance at all. It could just be life advice or anything, and we will try our damnedest to give you real advice. Everybody, we're trying to keep this positive. This is a very positive zone here at Kinda Funny. So we'll not tolerate any bullshit. We're only tolerating some good stuff.
I have to run through the spiel, of course. We are not medical professionals. We are two completely unauthorized idiots who have no profession, no whatsoever, doing any of this content.
Nope.
So if you guys are in crisis for any reason, please call 911 or reach out to your nearest medical professional because we are unprofessional and we are not authorized to do any of this stuff. This is all just our advice. Take it with a grain of salt and let's have some fun and let's help some people out.
Hell yeah, man. That's what we're trying to do here. It's going to be a great time. We're going to hang out with y'all for about 2 hours, and it's going to be a good time. Craven, how we doing over there?
Tim, we have people ready to rock and roll on this sexual hotline.
I love that.
I'll come up with a better name for
The
that.
sexual hotline. Can I
Sexual hotline?
I'm trying to get it spicy right off the rip, okay?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to jump in too spicy, too sexual. You got to warm it up.
Some lube.
Okay, well, I was thinking a little more foreplay.
Okay.
And let's start off with a little bit of foreplay right now with our first best friend calling in, Derek. You've been invited up to speak. Derek is now hitting the center stage as long as you accept it.
D-Rock, what's going on? You're not hearing anything, Kev. I don't know if you're supposed to be hearing something or not.
It doesn't seem like anyone's talking on Discord here. I have it open.
D-Rock, you might be muted. If you are muted, unmute and speak away, my friend.
Speak away.
Mike, does everything look good on your end?
Gooseberry in the live chat says Unauthorized Idiots LLC. That would have been a great name.
Yep.
For
It really
us.
would have.
Now, while we're figuring that out, Mike, I want to ask you a question. What is the name for that corner over there? Can we call it the hidey hole?
The
I
hidey
like
hole.
that. I like that.
Or the lover's corner?
The Love Shack.
The love shack. Ooh.
7 minutes in heaven.
Oh, okay.
You know,
All right,
I don't know
all these
what
are
we're gonna
terrible
call this
ideas.
one yet.
None of these are good.
We're already giving horrible advice, naming our own segments and bits. Shout out to Kevin Raj for getting that little corner, whatever you want to call it, set up,
give
because
us
it
your
is.
suggestions.
Yeah.
It's good.
And while you guys are at it, I'm looking for suggestions for my name. I don't really
You don't
love
like
Ben
Ben
Dover. I want
Over.
something that is related to Craven the Hunter, like
More
maybe
bussy.
a Morbius related thing. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know.
More
Real
BS.
quick, one question. Mike, on
Yes.
here on the bottom, it does say that we're muted. So the server muted. And I can't... this channel has special permissions to speak in it. you'll need someone like a server moderator to admin to unmute
I don't know. You guys should be unmuted here.
It does seem like my levels. Oh, now we're unmuted.
There we go.
There's
Hello?
Derek. There's
D-Rock.
There he is.
Got you. We figured it out. Thank you for hanging out with us. D-Rock, lay it on me. What is your question, comment, concern, or just thing you want to talk about right now?
So, I just wanted to know what I should do for my dating profile. I feel like I get not to brag, decent matches, but a lot of it is not knowing how to start a conversation. I feel like I've tried everything under the sun and nothing seems to be working. So I wanted to see if I could get some advice from 2 strapping young lads, 3 or 4 strapping young lads like yourselves.
So this is a good question. What do we put in our dating? Well, first off, there's 2 questions here. What do we put in the dating profile? But I think the real question is, how do I initiate the first conversation with someone that I may have matched with on the app? Right? Is that what we're kind of driving at here, D-Rock?
Maybe call you D-Rock.
Call him A, call him B.
What's that?
Oh, please.
Yep.
Call him A, call him B.
A little column A, a little column B. I'm not the expert when it comes to these, but the thing what I've learned from a lot of my single friends is that it runs the gamut of completely full of shit to being honest. I always err on the side of honest.
Me too.
Just put your likes, put your dislikes, put pictures of yourself that you feel are flattering, and you will hopefully connect with people that you like. Obviously, lying is not going to get you anywhere because they're going to have to, spoilers, they're going to have, the goal is to meet you eventually. So if I were on there, I'm not going to point any fingers to anyone that's on that side, Andy, but if I was saying that I was 6'1" and I get there and they can't see me because the small shrubs that are in front are blocking my little spiky hair, my little spiky Sonic hair, that's going to obviously be a problem. So I think honesty obviously is the best policy. But, I think putting what you like, what you don't like. The harder thing for me, I think, would be to initiate the original conversation.
Well, no, so here's the thing. I think you can combine those things. I think that the honesty is the only way to go. If you're trying to be serious about this, like, don't try to play any games or anything. Just like Nick's saying, what you like, what you don't like. Be true to yourself. Understand who you are and what you're looking for, and just put it out there because that'll just help other people that are looking for similar things find you. But I think a key there is have a conversation starter in your pictures. Have some things in there that give people a nice in to be able to initiate a conversation with you, and look for that in others. People are doing it. They understand that that's what's there for. So look at something in their picture. Don't be weird and creepy, and don't go way too hard, and don't like hyper fixate on anything. But it's like their interest will be shown in their pictures that they have. Their pictures tell a story. The whole point of it is to sell themselves.
Let's do a little
find
A/B
something to talk
testing
there.
here. Let's do a little improv here between me and Tim, right? I look at Tim, and I see Tim out in Muir Woods. Here's what I'm going to text you, Tim. You tell me if I'm getting the nod from you.
Okay.
Or am I getting the swipe right on you? Hey, I noticed you like hiking. I like hiking too.
Yeah, it's probably not going to work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But unless I really, I actually, hold on. In this hypothetical world, I'm in Muir Woods. I imagine I do like hiking.
That was the goal, right?
Then yes. Then
okay. Here's what I'd really do. I would look at you, and the first thing I would think of is how do I craft a Jordan related question here?
That's great.
That's what I would do.
If you like Jordans.
Right. What I would try to do with you is communicate just solely in Jordans.
It's my love language.
No texts whatsoever. No alphabet whatsoever. Just pictures of Jordans to see if you could figure out what I was driving at. Like here's what I would do. Jordan on top of a table at Starbucks.
I mean, that would be
Coffee?
good.
Question mark?
There we go. You're already asking for the date.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Then you can have conversations about whatever you want there.
Sure.
I don't know if this is actually helping you, but I do think that there's like real advice here, which is just like think about how you look at other profiles and think about what you might want to say to them. And I feel like you make your own profile to make it easy for other people to engage with you. Because obviously it's way easier for someone to talk to you first, and then you just have to respond, than you having to be the first person to say something.
Right. But you always got to be the first person.
Yeah, don't be afraid to go for it, especially like don't just try to start a conversation about anything you can see. Just try to see if there's any vibe or anything you're feeling of like, oh, they have a poster of Taylor Swift in in the background of one of their pictures. I like Taylor Swift. Let's connect about that.
Yeah.
That's your best in because it's going to be authentic. But don't lie. Don't make up bullshit.
Oh, here we go. Starbucks delivery.
I appreciate that.
That's mine.
Yeah.
I think it's for me. Thank you.
I usually go
this one's for Kevin, this one's for me.
Biggest thing is if they have like a picture of their dog, it's something I always like try to give a compliment to, so that way it's not directly towards them, but it's something that obviously that they means something to them.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to
People that have dogs love their dogs, and they love people loving their dogs. So yeah, I think that's always a safe bet. My piece of advice is don't hyperfixate. Just get the dog compliments out of the way, but don't have every single thing you ever say to them be about the dog. Because I feel like at a certain point, it's just like, okay, dude, we get it.
Right. Derek, give me an example of something you've actually said to someone. Not the person. You don't have to tell the person's name, but like, give me an example of the last person you messaged. Let me hear where we're at right now, because you never know, right? You know, Mike, it might be like we just need to tune up their swing a little bit, or like, oh shit, we got to put them back to the minors.
Yeah, very helpful right there, Nick.
Where are we at? Just scroll through, pick one at random, and tell me how you initiate.
It was on Hinge, and it was one of those like prompts of like 2 truths and a lie sort of deal, just to try to start a conversation. So I tried picking out the truth in that, just because it was, I believe it was like one of them, she worked on a show, I forget what it was, and then I was like, I was a background dancer, and then I forget the other one.
Wait, so you asked her to come up with 2 truths and a lie?
No, I think he said he looked at her stuff.
No,
and said,
she had that on her profile.
Ask me 2 truths and a lie. That's fun,
dude. That's good.
That's great.
Engage with the questions. If they're giving you prompts, they're looking for answers. So yeah, that's good.
Ultimately, here's the deal. I feel like the dating app concept is going to operate more on. So I think you're going to be benefiting from the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. And I hate to say that because it's always really difficult to match people that you actually have interest in. But I don't know, maybe widen out the search a little bit just to get the experience of initiating those conversations and have fun. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, having fun, I think, is a big thing too. Again, be authentic, be you. Like, actually search for your interest and like what you're looking for. It's not just like anything you can get. It's like this should be a bit more targeted in experience.
All right, Derek. Hopefully that helps. We're gonna let you go and move on to the next person.
Well, I appreciate you both.
But happy hunting. We appreciate you, man. Kevin, can we get their audio up a little bit in our ears? Just a little bit. D-Rock was a little quiet for us. Michael.
Shout out to Derek. Let's give some snaps in the chat for Derek. Snaps. Derek, thank you so much for calling in. Of course, I'm here to remind you on the Love Couch.
Oh.
Have you decided on a name yet?
Like 7 minutes it happened, but it's too long.
No, not that.
Wait,
your name.
Oh, my name?
Yeah, we had a really good one in the chat.
Mo Penis, I think.
Mo Penis?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I still think you have not taken the 2 suggestions that me and Tim gave to you before.
It's too basic. They got to be in the
Ivana Humpalot is a great name. It's a classic from Austin Powers.
Mike, do you have this one from Jace the Drone in the chat?
Lay it on me.
Dixie Normus.
All right, that's the winner.
Derek, don't take anything we
Dixie
said
Normus.
seriously.
Dixie Normus and, of course, Craven Moorhead here on the Love Couch, bringing you all the fun information that you need to know about. Of course, right now you can join our Discord if you would like to get your question read and or possibly heard right now with a fun discussion with these 2 lovely gentlemen up on stage. You can join our Discord and join the live chat and raise your hand. Of course, if you're just watching and listening and you'd like to just write in, please write in on either the Twitch chat or YouTube chat. If you super chat and or resubscribe, we'll get to that message faster. And of course, if you want to skip the line and you want your question heard right away, you can subscribe and gift 5 tier 1 subs or donate $25 to skip the line right now on YouTube if you would like to do that. But before that, let's jump in. We have another one coming in. Who is that? Dixie Normus?
Lion of the Desert.
Lion of the Desert, you have been called up on the center stage. Please accept and ask away.
Lion of the Desert, you have been called up on.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. You guys can call me Salim. I'm Salim Krishi on Patreon if you ever see me. I'm Lion of the Desert and most other places.
Right on that.
So I'm here to tell Nick a story.
Okay.
I've been with my lovely lady now for about,
Tim was looking at me real weird for a second there. Like this, you're like, what's gonna happen?
Well, who knows? We're strapping into this.
All right, Celine, give it to you. You've been with. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go for it.
No worries. So I've been with my lovely lady now for about 4.5 years, and very early on in the relationship, was when KFAF debuted.
Okay.
And so my girlfriend's introduction to KindaFunny was me making her watch the KFAF debut with me.
And she stayed with you
because
for
I was
4
so
more
excited.
years.
And I'm telling you, I'm in this relationship despite of you. So, you know, it's just...
that makes sense. That makes sense.
So that was her first impression. If you go back and watch that episode, I mean, goodness. But yeah, you need to bring that show back, but that's not what I'm here to talk about.
I think spoilers, we're going to do one this year at least, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely doing a holiday special this year, so it'll come back this year at some point.
But another thing that she saw of you guys very early on as well, which also for some reason, I don't know why this happened. It's just the way that it was. She saw a bit where you and Greg were dressed as cops, telling Kevin to take off his pants so that he could get frisked. And that was also a very early impression.
What was that? We were playing a game. What was it? Beat Cop, Mike. What was it? Do you remember?
It was This Is the Police, maybe?
Border
or
Patrol.
Something?
No, it wasn't Border Patrol. That was a game you and I played.
The Snake Pass Day? Where you guys dressed up as cops beforehand?
No, this was, it might have been. It was the day where me and Greg kept saying, sir, 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 sir.
Yeah.
And we would just stop people constantly. We still have those cop outfits, by the way. So if we need to do more cop-related content, I'm just letting you know, Tim, it's not going to cost us a thing.
All right.
Now, have I bought more cop outfits since? Yeah, 2 more.
You know, I think
Mike
I noticed that today, actually. I walked into the merch room, and I was like, why are there more cop
You know why
outfits?
there's more, if I may, Tim? Because my barber took it upon herself to cut my hair like a cop. And I look like a cop who doesn't even want to hide the fact that there's a cop. I can't even go undercover right now as a cop.
Yeah.
I'm a beat cop out there. They see me coming. I'm the law.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. This is not how I expected this show to go.
I'm embracing it.
Do you have a question? Is there any advice that you're seeking here?
Well, I guess ultimately to turn this into a question, what I was going to say was, what would you guys say is kind of the best way to ease someone into your content as to not make the same mistakes? But also, you know, something that she says to me all the time, we don't have to like the same things all the time. We can have our own things.
Look,
so, you know, that's the way life is sometimes.
You know, that is the correct answer, unfortunately. With me and my wife, I would say the crossover, like the Venn diagram of the stuff she likes versus the stuff I like, that crossover is actually, it's fairly okay. It's like medium, I would say. We like all the HBO stuff. But recently, and I'll tell you a story for your story, okay? Recently, Netflix decided to bring the hit USA TV show Suits back. Thank God. Back from the dead. We can all enjoy it commercial-free like it was meant to be. I start watching it, and my wife goes, she says the thing that all wives say when your husband does something stupid. Watching that show again, huh? Now, translation, why are you watching that show again? But I know my wife, and I know she likes dumb soap operas. So I just play the long game. I watch it whenever she doesn't want to watch something. You know, they always, what do you want to watch? I wait for her to go, I don't know. And I go, I don't know either. And then I look at her, and I give her the opening. And then I go, how about Suits?
How about Suits
And
season 3?
if she can't come up with another option, we watch Suits. Lo and behold, get a text today.
Who loves Suits?
Hey, where'd you leave off on Suits? I got to catch up. ... Should I go back and watch all of season 1 and season 2? Question mark. Winning.
I get a text today from Gia. Does Nick recommend Suits? It's been on my list for a while.
You're all welcome. So basically, what I'm telling you here is get your significant other to watch Suits. It's just a great show. No, I mean, obviously, look, they're not, you know, you guys can't, you shouldn't like everything the other person likes. That's boring, right? This is how you introduce to new things. But when you're introducing someone to something new, you run the risk of them absolutely hating it. And I'll be honest with you, from a kind of funny piece of content, KFAF might not be the best show to start with. If she likes movies, maybe start with In Review or do something like that when you're watching along with new movies that are coming out. Because that's a much different vibe than me and Andy being goofballs on our mom's couch. But she's not wrong.
I think I'm with Nick where it's like, definitely do not force it. Like, you guys having your own interest is great. If she shows interest, though, don't be afraid to, like, give it a shot there. And I do think we don't have anything planned upcoming, but, like, I think live events are actually, like, probably weirdly some of the best ways to be introduced because you're getting thrown to the deep end. None of it's going to make any sense. But there's a vibe and an energy. And once you understand the community and understand oh, like this isn't weird. It's very weird, but it's also not weird at all. I think that goes a long way.
And I think a lot of our stuff comes from games too. So if you play games, that's an easy get, right?
Yeah.
Because gaming news and gaming information, and like the vibe you guys have with a lot of the game stuff, is not the vibe that we cultivate on KFAF or things like that.
Yeah.
That was sort of extra and kind of crazy. So, but I think you're on the right track. I think you're good, and you don't have to like what each other likes, but definitely watch Suits.
Well, what's funny about you saying that was initially my thought process is that, for us already, she doesn't really do games or YouTube in general, right? And so for us, TV and movies is kind of how we pretty much do stuff. And in my head, I was like, oh, if this is all comedic and it's not going to be focused on video games, maybe, and it's episode 1, maybe this is a good thing for me to introduce her to, because it's just comedy and bits, and it's not really based off of anything specific. But yeah, it didn't work out that way.
Well,
hey,
you
know
took
what?
a swing and a miss.
You tried, but you still have love, and that's what matters here, everybody.
That is what matters.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Bud.
Oh my God, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the night. Michael, cue it up.
This is Craven Moorhead back again.
It's Perchance says, my significant other did not give a fuck about KF until she went to a Kind of Funny live. Now she gets mad if I listen to an in-review without her.
There That's fair.
There we go.
I get that. Now it's back. That's when it backfires.
Yeah.
So to me today, I won, but I'm a victim of my own success. Because now my wife's going to start watching past where I'm at, and I'm not going to know what happened to Rachel and Mike Ross.
Yeah.
And do you know what somebody pointed out to me? Oh, no, it wasn't even someone that pointed out to me. Guys, this is how deep Suits goes down the rabbit hole. Do you know what Suits is about, Tim?
I have not the lightest clue.
Okay, well, spoilers. It's about someone who's a lawyer, but he may or may not. The way he becomes a lawyer, the way he gets into the firm is controversial, to say the least. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's the very first episode, so you'll figure it out when you watch it tonight with Gia. The character's name is Mike Ross. He's brought in by another character named Harvey Specter. Someone said Mike Ross, my cross to bear.
Uh-huh.
What?
Wait.
Mike Ross is like saying my cross, my cross, because this guy,
do that in the show?
Mike Ross is the bane of this guy's existence. Like it's this cross, it's this big secret that they catch. This is how deep this show is. You understand me?
Deep.
1 layer deep, everybody. Okay.
You ever had a 7-layer bean dip that's just beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this show is.
Okay. Yeah.
Michael, give us the next question. And don't eat my cookie over there. I see you eyeballing it, Dixie.
Let's bring up our next Kind of Funny best friend, Jules V. Jules V, you've been brought up to the center stage. Don't forget, you can write in with your questions if you'd like myself and Roger to read them out to the gang. Or if you'd like to join the center stage, you can do so and get your spicy questions directly to the gods.
Jules.
How you guys doing, KF crew?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad.
What's your question?
My question comes in a place that is actually a little bit bad. So as of about a little over a week ago, I'm currently on a break, quote unquote, with my long-term girlfriend. It's been a bit rough, just kind of like readjusting. As of right now, I don't see us continuing the relationship, but we just haven't talked about it. My question for you guys is, how do you move on from something so serious? And if we would have time for a bonus question, how should I go across actually having the conversation that it's over?
So you want it to be over?
Yes and no, but I think it's what's best is that if it's over.
Okay. I think there's something I want to jump off here.
Sure.
Which is, you just said you think it's best. So that, I think, is an important thing. I feel like oftentimes when we're talking to people, there's that struggle of like, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe it could work, whatever. The fact that you said with very little prompting that you think it's for the best, even though you don't necessarily want it, but you think it's the best, I think that's important. I think you need to stick to your guns there. Because I feel like it can get pretty messy pretty quickly if there's like too much back and forth and like you questioning things or whatever. Something inside of you is telling you that this isn't right. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's more of a question for him, but that would be
yes.
Yeah. What was the impetus of it coming to an end to begin with? Did I miss that? Did you tell us why?
It basically came down to a miscommunication of needs on both of our ends. I didn't feel appreciated and felt like she wanted me to change for her friends and family, while I didn't think that was fair and wouldn't act out of her. And yeah,
Interesting. So she wants you to change in ways that you don't want to change. That's going to
yes,
be
she wants
yeah.
me to, yeah, she wants me to be a bit more upbeat around her friends. And while I had a good time with them, I feel like I would be faking it if I had like higher
Yeah.
energy or anything like that.
That's unfortunate. I was going to say if she was like, because that could have gone either way, right? If she was like, hey, you say you're going to come out to hang out with my parents, you don't show up. That's different than saying like, hey, my friends just don't find you to be, your personality to vibe with theirs as much. But that's a bummer, man. I think you're making the right choice in that regard, because if you never want to be with someone who is sort of forcing you to be someone you don't feel that you are. And that's different than personal growth. If someone's like, hey, I need you to try a little harder and like X, Y, and Z for me because I feel like that'll bring you out of your shell, that's different. But if you're really feeling like you're forced to be someone that you're not, I think you're making the right choice. But you just need to express that to her.
Yeah, totally. Jumping off that even more, I feel like the change can be a good thing, but change inherently isn't a good thing. And I think that it's one of those situations where if you think that, hey, this is coming from a good place, I should listen to this, and this is a growth, like Nick was saying, like there's growth potential here, even if it's something that sounds hard or scary or I'm not comfortable with, like going outside of my shell or whatever, then maybe it's like, hey, you know what? She's right. It sucks to hear, but that is a change that I want to do for myself. I'm just scared of doing it. That's one thing. It sounds like you're hearing this and feeling like she's wrong about it, and that you feel like you are you're happy with who you are. You don't feel the need to be more rambunctious or whatever it is. And if that's the case, that's the type of stuff that you shouldn't change about yourself. Like everything needs to start and end with, who are you, and are you happy with that person? Because you can't be with someone else until you're happy with you. And we've seen it time and time and time and time and time again.
Yeah.
But if you are happy with yourself, which it sounds like you are, then I think
I very much am, yeah.
That's you need to find somebody that's happy with you then.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more. But let me be honest. I mean, let's clarify as well. Changing for someone is not necessarily a bad thing, right? When you're younger, people go, no, I'm seeing people in the chat say never change for anyone, and I understand the sentiment there, but I would disagree in that sometimes change equals growth.
100%.
And there's something to be said when you're with someone, you do change, but you grow with them, and you hopefully change together. But unfortunately, at the beginning, that's when you start really starting to think to yourself, hey, how much am I willing to go out of my comfort zone versus how much am I just being asked to do something I don't want to do anymore? And if you're being asked to do something constantly you don't want to do, then I think you have your answer. But I would say nipping this in the bud earlier rather than I'm never a fan of the long lingering, let's just ghost each other, no closure whatsoever breakup. I think you need to have a conversation like, hey, this is why this is, and I just don't think it's going to work for us, and let everyone go out into the wild. And
it's going to be hard.
Be happy again.
It's going to be really hard, and it's going to be a tough thing for you to do there, and then also a tough thing for you to deal with afterwards. But again, just from the jump, hearing a vibe in your voice and what you're saying, I think you're making the right call.
Thank you, guys. I also wonder for you, as you have ended long-term relationships, what's the best way to move forward? Not even into something new, just like moving past, like moving on.
It's the dumbest, worst answer, but it's just time.
Yeah.
It's something that will never feel good, and then one day you don't think about it anymore. And like that time, I don't think there's any consistency between people or between anything. Like there's just so much context of like what's going on in your life at this point compared to the other points or whatever it is. I don't know. Unfortunately, I just think time is the only answer.
Well, it is a little different if you're the one doing the breaking up. If you're the one that wants out of the relationship, because I've broken up with people that I dated for a year, but I wanted out, and I'm sad. I hate to say it, but relief is all I felt beyond that point. There was no getting over it necessarily. I liked the person, but I was like, I know this is not for me. This is not a person that I see myself with in the long term. This relationship has run its course. You just tell yourself that, and you just move on. But yeah, Tim's right. 6 months from now, it'll hurt a little less, and then 6 years from now, you look back on the fond memories and go, no, that was a great relationship that helped make me who I am. But ultimately, the one thing you have to know is that you're doing something positive for yourself by moving on, and I think that's incredibly important. So there's always going to be a fair amount of guilt anytime you break up with anyone, but if you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it for the right reasons, I think you can move on and just be happy in the long term.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in, though.
Thank you guys so much for the advice. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Good luck.
Now I look over at the lover's couch and I see Dixie over there talking to Bend over or whatever. No, which one's Mike? Craven. Craven Moorhead.
Reveal behind the curtains. Well, Mike's over here just searching up sexy Morbius, just showing me images, just being like cool sex questions. I'm like, what is happening?
Cool sex questions, Mike.
Raj. I don't want to deter from a great call-in just a moment ago. Really want to give a big shout out to that call-in. That's what's most important. But to spice it up just a little bit, Nick and Tim, of course, Craven Moorhead here. I want to talk, when is the right time for an orgy? And if my lover wants to share me, is it okay?
Wow.
Hold on, just to be clear, this question is coming from you.
It's
A man without a lover, let alone a lover that is saying it's time for an orgy.
Now let's go farther than that. Not only do you not have a lover, you don't have a lover that wants an orgy, nor do you have access to an orgy. You don't have any of these things that are prerequisites for this question. But it's a good question.
It is a good question.
It's a great
and again, I feel like on this show, we always talk about honesty. We talk about communication. Those are the rules of the game. With those, you're going to get very far. Without them, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I feel like orgies and things of that ilk should not only not be an expectation, they should not be something that you think is going to happen in your life at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, you should always be prepared.
Always be prepared for more.
You know what I mean? Because you never know.
Look, in some places, there could be an orgy around every corner.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that an orgy might jump right at you and bring you right in.
But it all comes down to being honest with yourself, being honest with your partner, not trying. The name of the game when it comes to orgies, threesomes, anything that is like atypical to a normal, normal's not the right word, atypical sexual relationship, I feel you guys both just need to entirely be on the same page. No pressuring even a little bit any which way. There has to be authentic interest from both sides.
It's tough because I always feel like there's always someone that wants the orgy more than the other person.
And whenever they do,
it's tough.
It's
going to be
well.
bad.
Never ends well. But when both people are totally okay, it's great. And I think in 2023, like I don't want to say things like normal because it's not normal. I feel like so many different types of relationships are being normalized, and that is a good thing. It's just with that, you can't expect anything from others except what they're telling you. And that means they need to be honest. You need to be honest. And that's the only way that this could all work out.
Got it. Mike, do we have another question?
We have another question. Of course, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching live over on Twitch and on YouTube. Of course, don't forget you can join our center stage or you can write in the chat anytime if you resubscribe or super chat. We'll see that here on the Lover's Couch, and we'll read that out. But, of course, I want to bring in another call-in because the call-in hotline is very hot right now, guys. We got a lot of best friends ready to call in. Up next, Josh Miller.
Josh, how you doing?
Hey, I knew it was going to be that Josh Miller, former intern for my GM.
Oh, what's up, Josh? How you doing, man?
Good. You know, watching you guys get your coffee delivered really brought back memories.
You're welcome. That was for you. That was for you. Does it bring back memories to the time when you were awesomest and you were working with us?
All of those memories. I mean, they were hard memories. They were difficult memories, but it did bring them back.
Okay, they were. And I mean, difficult wouldn't be what I would use to describe that.
I mean, look,
I don't know that I'd say that. I mean, fun, awesome, mentor-mentee style relationship.
It was the beatings, honestly.
Beating back the feelings of love that we all had and admiration we had for each other, I think was probably what we were talking about.
Word. Yeah.
Love is a great word. It's a 4-letter word, just like everything else.
So what question do you have for us, Josh?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to Kevin because we tried to do this live call-in thing over at G4 and it did not go well. So congrats for getting that working.
Hit me up. I can always give you any notes that we have on this on how to make it.
Well, there you go. Okay.
Well, the company doesn't exist anymore, so it's
say
good.
that, but
no. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Just
in general.
I just meant in general on streaming stuff.
No, it's all good.
But like,
we'll send Kevin down to that studio. You guys will be good.
Fully listening to questions. I'm working on stuff on this end.
I wish you could have seen the studio. It was beautiful, but
I saw pictures of it. It looked great.
It was very expensive. We couldn't afford it. Anyways, yeah. So I got a pivot on my question because Jules kind of came in and with a similar situation, and I don't want to turn this into the tragedy after dark live. So
okay, I mean, you can. If you want.
Man, love, sex, or
everyone's situations are different. Kevin's flashing us a blue screen right now. I'm not sure why.
That's an accident. Sorry about that. Ignore it.
I think it's the speed up thing. I gotta go. So, you know, I have a tendency after breakups to like immediately hop on the Hinge train and bury my feelings in coffee dates and other activities, which I don't think is the healthiest thing to do. So like,
what's unhealthy about it to you? Like, because I don't think that act is unhealthy, but what are you finding unhealthy about the response that you're getting from it or how it makes you feel?
I don't think it's great, immediately after a breakup, trying to avoid the emotions that you're feeling by just meeting someone else and trying to experience the intimacy and love that you might have, and the romantic acts that you experienced in your previous relationship.
It's also
dealing with it.
Also not necessarily fair to that other person too. Because more often than not, if you haven't really finished processing your feelings for the next person, you're not ready to move on, then you're just using that person as filler, which they may want. Sometimes people aren't looking for the deepest of emotional relationships for a one-night stand. I get it. And one-night stands it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, as long as everyone's consenting and enjoying it. But yeah, I mean, I would personally try to be aware that was what I was doing as a conscious act and ask myself if that was fulfilling in any way, shape, or form. Because I used to, when I was single, I'd find the act of just hooking up for the plain sake of hooking up to be exciting in the moment, and then the next day kind of a little bit empty, and that was always just me. And so I don't think I realized until I met my wife that I was like, oh, I'm ready. That was an indicator to me that I was ready to move on to actually having a serious relationship. But I would just say, just be conscious that you're doing that, and if you're not enjoying it, then don't do it. There's literally so many other things you can do with your time to get over that person. And then when you're ready and it's exciting and you're like, oh, I want to open that app and see what else is out there, that's the time to do it.
Yeah. It sounds like you got it. Like you understand what's making you feel icky about it or not great. Like, and if those are the things that you're getting from that, it's not worth it. If there are things that are like helping you move on and giving you space to be fulfilled in whatever ways you need at that point, then go for it. But otherwise, yeah, maybe that's not the best move for you in particular.
And also maybe seeing a doctor to see if your memory is accurate, because working with me and Tim was fucking awesome, and you sound like a crazy person right now.
No, I agree with all of the above sentiments, and working with you guys was a treat. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right on the money. I think that I might have a bit of a dating addiction that I've got to deal with, and I think
you and every other person that's ever downloaded Tinder and or any social media app and or any app period. I mean, that stuff. It's so designed to keep you in that loop and keep you addicted to it that you have to be very aware of that. Maybe just limit the access. That was incredible, Kevin. Try limiting yourself. Don't do it for a week and see how you feel. That's always a good idea. Put your phone down. I mean, granted, I do that when my wife just tells me, hey, just leave your phone home right now. And it's so liberating. It's so nice. And who knows? You might actually meet someone. This is going to sound wild to everyone. You might step out of your house and run into a person in real life and be like, holy crap, I have a connection with this person. It's crazy. It happens few and far between now, but it does happen.
I'm going to have to take your word for it on that one. But,
yeah, fair enough.
I
understand everyone's siloed into their AI-driven houses these days.
I love it. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much,
Good
man.
hearing from you, man. That's great.
Likewise. Cheers.
Roger just kicked someone to death over there. It was fine. How you doing, Roger? You okay? Feet getting heavy? Okay.
I once left my phone behind, and a lot of people yelled at me as I tried to go to the amusement park with no phone to enjoy the moment and maybe meet someone.
Okay, maybe don't leave your phone in a car in the parking lot of a Six Flags.
Just letting people know that I did that once. Let's jump on over to the live chat right now because we have a super chat just for you, Nick Scarpino. Stephen Coots writes in and says, Nick, on the last Love, Sex, and Stuff, you recommended lube, so I picked some up, and I think my wife is very thankful. You've changed the game, good sir.
Shout out to lube, man.
You're welcome.
Look,
there's a lot of things I grew up. I'm a Gen Xer.
Mm-hmm.
We established this last time. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up with boomer parents, right? My parents never talked about any of this stuff, period. So I'm glad I can be your dad today.
God damn.
And let you know that going in dry is going in wrong.
Love that.
Clip that out, Roger. Clip that out and send it to your TikToks.
Yep. He's
we
not
have a lot
wrong.
of fun coming our way, of course. Kind of Funny Best Friends, just like Stephen Coots did. You can super chat at any time, or over on Twitch, you can now hyper chat, and I'll read those messages right away. But if you'd like to call in and be on the sexy hotline, like so many of you have, you can join our Discord at any time, and you can jump right into the center stage, just like a very special guest, Hasbula has joined. Let's find out who this Hasbula character is right now.
Let's find out.
Hello, you're live with us.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How you doing? First off, can you please tell us how to say your name? Because I'm sure Mike just slaughtered it.
That's not my real name. My real name is Lake.
Okay.
L-A-K-E.
I know who Hasbula is. I'm hip.
I'm cool.
Hello, hello.
Hello. What is your question?
I'm sorry, I was going in and out of my house. Messing with the connection.
No problem.
It is. I can't help but feel like I'm settling
Ooh.
with like any girl.
Oh,
And
Anyone.
it's kind of ruining my life.
Wow. Okay, let's break this the fuck down.
Yeah.
So, all right, are you in a current relationship?
No,
Okay. And
just kind of got out of one for this very reason.
okay. So, let me ask a question that I always ask people. Are you happy with the person that you are?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Do you think that there is room for improvement / criticisms that your previous partners might have about you that you think might be worth changing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't expect a yes there. Good job.
I mean, I think everyone should say yes there.
100%. Okay, cool. Because your question comes off like we need to find the source of the root of the problem, and I feel like it at some point falls on you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
look, if you're meeting person after person after person and thinking every single person that you get involved with is just has nothing to offer you, that does tell me that you might want to take a look at yourself a little bit here.
Now, having said that, if you're looking at yourself and you're like, yo, I'm fucking awesome, and I know what I'm looking for, and I'm not getting it from these people,
Sure.
you need to keep looking till you find that thing. But do you
I
think
hear you,
go for it?
but I feel like my standards for that are like broken and like
Okay.
they're too high.
Are we talking
And-
physical standards or emotional achievement standards?
Just everything about the person.
Yeah, because we've talked to people about this before, where they're like, their standards for physical beauty tend to be unrealistic for like what actual dating is. But if it's that in conjunction with maybe you're just meeting someone like what is this? What is your standard for someone who like their job? Do they need to be like a Harvard grad for you to want to think about marrying them?
I guess I should establish my main concern is being in like a married to someone and then it turns out that person's crazy and they were like kind of lying to me about who they were.
Okay.
So maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm getting the sense that this isn't so much that a standards thing as much as it's a fear of commitment thing. That's not a problem on your side. Just you want to commit, but you want to make sure you're committing to the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is tough. I do think you need to kind of like ask yourself really what matters to you in a partner. Like, what is the thing that you're looking for that is like the deal breaker for it all? Because to me, it is having somebody that I can talk to openly and that we can talk to about anything. And I lucked the fuck out with G because we both love to talk a lot. So once we had that, which sounds like not the most complicated thing in the world.
Yeah.
But once you have it and you're like, oh, this is an elevated version of that. Any other idea of standards or anything kind of goes out the window of like things that I thought I cared about or this or that or whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm curious where this is coming from. Have you dealt with people in your life or specifically like women in your life that you felt have acted like this before?
I've seen a lot of my friends and personal people in my life get into relationships that are just toxic and it freaks me the fuck out.
Oh, as well it should, because marrying the wrong person can absolutely have an adverse effect on your life. Conversely, marrying the right person can make your life incredible and make it way worth living and really enrich your life in a lot of different ways. I think the deciding factor obviously is the person, but it's also being able to create a space with that person that you feel you can share these things with. And because I'm sure people, your significant other might have some insecurities as well. That's why I always recommend couples therapy, because you learn a lot about yourself in couples therapy as well as the other person. And you guys can hash out a lot of these things. You might not know, you might say this, you might unearth something of like, years ago you had some past trauma with this and you're like, oh wow, I was really just kind of looking at this the wrong way. But I will say that I don't think the majority of people, specifically women, are out there to get you. I think that a lot of people are just good people that have some pros and some cons to them, and hopefully together you guys can ferret out a lot of the cons and focus on the pros. But I think when you, I don't know, I think when you look at, if you go looking for those situations, or if you go looking for those like toxic relationships, whether it be like on Reddit or stories on Twitter, or maybe if you've seen them in your friends, you're going to find more of them more often than not. I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, I do think it really comes down to like adding to that. Like if you are dating somebody and you are seeing red flags, like respond to that. I think that there's nothing wrong with with the way you're handling this so far. It sounds like of when you're like, this is not working, finding a way to get out of that like in a hopefully peacefully nice way. But like don't. It's not about wasting your time as much as it is about like your instincts aren't wrong with where you're coming from here. Right. Like everybody deserves the person they're looking for. So
yeah, I'll tell you a story before I got married. I don't know if this will help you or not, but I grew up, I went to school in Orange County, and there used to be this radio DJ on like AM radio. I think it was AM 640, named Tom Likas. And Tom Likas was a man's man. Tom Likas made $1 million a year, and he said that we'd never get married because women were always out to get you. They were going to steal your thing, and he would tell the stories of the guys that, you know, got the condom stolen, and the woman would take the sperm and inseminate themselves and then sue him for all that. And it was all bullshit, of course. But it was all that just building that
toxic shit.
It's selling toxicity to the masses. Well, it really got into my head. And so when I was going to get married, I had a lot of those hangups of like, oh my God, this woman is going to take me for everything I'm worth. And she's just out to be a money grabbing person. And like, I had all these hangups about money that I didn't realize I had accumulated over the years. And couples therapy really helped me realize that a lot of that was just in me. That was just my problem that I had sort of had hammered into me for whatever reason. I was open to that being drilled into me, and I had to deprogram myself for that. And thank God I did, because it opened up actual, real relevant conversations about how do you share finances and who pays for what bill, like all these semantic arguments that you don't think about before you get married. That was actually really, really, really helpful. And then also I realized that my now wife, my then girlfriend / fiance, was not just playing the long game with me, hoping one day I'd be a multimillionaire, even though at that point I was driving a used Jetta. You know, a lot of that was just built up in my own brain. So I will say, like, I don't know if you go to therapy or not, but you might want to talk to someone about this that can help you unpack it a little bit, because it does sound like you've got a few years of baggage there that you want to unpack a little bit.
Thank you for the thought out responses. That was really good.
Oh yeah,
no problem, man. So best of luck to you. And sometimes it's good to trust people.
Looks really uninteresting, and Nick, you made it sound even more uninteresting. So,
what's this?
Suits, the TV show.
Okay. Yes.
It's very uninteresting to me, and you made it sound even more uninteresting. So,
here, no, stop.
Gonna leave
stop.
on that note.
I'm gonna leave on that.
Do you follow me on Twitter?
No, I never will.
I need you to follow. I'll bet Roger right now $1 that this man tweets at me one day. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe 10 years from now. Nick, you were right about Suits.
Suits, pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'll take that back.
All right.
There you
The
go.
bet is on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
So I do want to say, Mike, that we have a little over an hour left. I want to try to make sure we get as many people as possible. So maybe like when we get the calls, let's try to get to the question. Because I want to get to answering. You know what I mean?
10-4 from Craven Moorhead and the sex couch over here.
God damn. The show used to mean something.
It never meant anything.
We've diluted it. It's not a sex couch. Just the core of the issue.
We're having fun over here, Roger.
Yeah, we're having
Roger, who's up next on the phone line?
We have Judson Clark.
Okay.
Judson Clark.
Judson Clark, what's going on?
Hey, and homies.
What's up?
What's up?
This might be a little two-parter, and let me not try to give you my whole life story. But the first one is, I'm a big personality, and I'm sociable, and all that fun stuff. And I care a lot about everybody else, right? But what I've struggled with is like filling my own emotional cup, and so I would try to combat that by going to parties, doing social things, watching movies. I go to movies alone, shamelessly, because I'm strong, independent man.
Hell yeah.
But
sure.
I still like get in the car and I'm like, oh man, You know what I mean? Like it just leaves my mind. And so like I'm trying to find the long term of how to combat that. Does that make sense?
No, I'm confused.
Yeah, so you were breaking up just a little bit there. So if, like, correct me where I'm wrong on this one. So you're an outgoing person, but you feel like some of that is you kind of just trying to find a happiness in yourself that you're not finding.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. I'm from the East Coast, you know how it is out in the boonies, North Carolina. You know how it is.
I do know how it is, as does Roger. He's from the East Coast. Right, Raj?
Woo!
There it is.
North Carolina.
Sorry, okay. Do you hear me now?
Cat's alive.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're saying you're a very outgoing person, but that you kind of feel like some of that is you just trying to find a happiness in yourself that you're not finding.
Yeah, I mean, like, it just seems like I know that I love playing video games. I love watching movies and doing all this stuff, but there's just something inside that still is like, it seems short term. I'm trying to find long term interest. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
So doing all the things you're doing by yourself seems short term, and it sounds like you're wanting a relationship.
No, I'm happily in a relationship with a fiance, and we're doing the best we can. You know how it is.
I do know how it is. I've been there. I'm confused what the issue is here. So it sounds like you have a great relationship with someone, your fiance, and also you have independence that you're able to go out and enjoy yourself.
I am an artist. I have been acting like almost all my life, and I really want to be a filmmaker. I'm about to start shooting my first movie. Very excited about it.
Congrats.
But thank you so much. But it feels like, I don't know, fickle, because I know I didn't get to choose what I want to pursue and all that jazz. And I'm very passionate about it. But there are times where I'm like, do I need to go to college for this? And there are people on Broadway. There are people in elevators who haven't gotten puberty yet that are getting Broadway gigs because they met a dude there. And it's just like, sometimes I just don't want to be the passionate actor. Sometimes I wish the path was a little more straight and narrow.
Okay. So you're basically saying like you're struggling in your career. You're doing your first movie. You're wondering where that's going to go. You haven't. You have not gotten the amount of esteem and or success that you're wanting in your career just yet? I feel like
does it mean it's like, is this going to still be a hobby, or is this am I going to be the 1% that makes it, and it's just kind of that existential dread?
I mean, look, it's dreadful.
The question is so complicated.
No. I think we got to the nut of this here. So I feel like with a lot of these type of career paths, it is scary because the chances of it working are very, very, very slim. So you need to be okay. I feel like many, many artists need to be okay with it being a hobby. And if they're not okay with it being a hobby and they only want to do it if it's a career, that is a very different conversation that I think that more often than not leads to sleepless nights and kind of that emptiness that you're talking about a little bit. Having said that, even if it works, I feel like more often than not, people that make it are still filled with this like, oh man, I'm not doing enough. I wish this was easier. I wish that there was a clear path. Like, I think that's kind of the most unfortunate thing about growing up is realizing that the perfect path that society has created from preschool all the way to college, and then you get a job and then you get married and all that stuff, that just is not how it goes for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then once you're out of that system, good fucking luck. Figure it out. So that is not a fun way to look at it, but I think it's a real way to look at it.
No, but I think that's incredibly important, right? Is I bet if you talked to a lot of people who you would look at and say this person has unequivocally made it, they still feel insecure about their career. They still feel like it can at the end of the day, all of it can go away, and maybe they're not doing the work at the level that they want to do it, or they're still working toward that. Because you always work towards something, right? You're going to do your first movie, and you're going to go, that was a great experience. You're going to see it. You're going to look at all the things that went wrong, all the things that went right, and want to do it again, want to do it bigger, and want to do it better. And you're going to be, probably focused on one day fantasizing about directing a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie or an indie that wins Cannes or something like that. But it's all a progression, and there's ups and downs. And I can say that Tim hit the nail right on the head. I remember asking Greg Miller once, the guy has got 1.32 million Twitter followers. I was like, do you feel like you've made it? And he goes, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we work really, really hard. We have a great life, but his concept of making it maybe never might happen, or it always keeps getting punted.
Yeah.
So I would say that take the pressure off your shoulders. If this is something you love and it is passion, focus on the baby steps of it. Focus on what's in front of you right now. Don't worry about 10 years from now, because that might shift around. And just try to try to enjoy the ride because it's going to go by fast, and one day you might make it into a career, and you're gonna really miss those times you got to actually spend weekends with your wife.
And I will also say, when those moments come, like, indulge in them and try to make them last as long as they should in that moment. Because I feel like something that I'm hearing from you is that you're finding bursts of happiness. You're just not getting this continued fulfillment. So allow yourself to sit in something without having to move on and without having to find the next high. Like, sometimes it's okay to go to one party a month and like have fun at that party and let that party sit with you, so then you can have memories for the next couple weeks thinking about that party, as opposed to what's the next party I'm going to, who's the next person I'm talking to. Like, sometimes just chilling just a little bit allows you to kind of take things in, and also just find happiness in the small things. Like, something really like bizarre that I've realized about myself in the last couple months is like, Mike got me really back into Pokemon cards a year ago or whatever it was. Just buying Pokemon cards and just organizing them myself, it just brings me happiness. You know what I mean? It doesn't even need to be like necessarily the collecting of them or the making content out of it or anything. Love all that stuff. But literally just opening a pack and putting things down, just like it's this weird, like, I don't know, something about it is just ticking my brain in a way that makes me feel good in a way that I've never felt before. It's nice. So I indulge in that.
Does that help at all?
Yes. Thank you guys so much. That was too real. I love you guys. It's been a little tough out here, so you guys have really been helping me out with that, and I really appreciate you. And hopefully you get to do my movie in review one day.
Hell yeah, dude. I hope so.
Look forward to it.
All right, homies. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right,
you too.
Talk to you later.
Snaps.
That was great.
Snaps all around.
That's great.
We have a fun one. We have a super chatter coming in over on the YouTube side. Of course, I want to remind everybody that we have hit the hour marker, which means we have 60 minutes left on tonight's special show. So if you would like to write in, please do so now. If you would like to call in, please join our Discord right away so you can make the list before I have to cut it off because we have 1 hour left. But Alexis, Texas writes in and says, out of a 5.5-year relationship, 1.5 years ago, been around since then, but I haven't been able to connect with anyone for the long term. Any tips on opening up? No intentions on going back to the last girlfriend. FYI, 27 male.
Good. I think the no intentions is a good thing.
Smart.
You're in a tough spot, man. I think that this is something that, again, time is unfortunately the only thing that kind of heal. People get stuck in ruts, and I've seen way too often people have an experience that takes up so much of their life, and it meant so much to them. Even if they're happy they're not with them anymore, that's the life that they knew. So being able to come up with who you are and then having that person line up with somebody else that's who they are and not working out, it can be tough, man. You kind of are starting from square one in a lot of ways. And I feel like it's so much work to put yourself out there. Just even downloading the app is a stressful idea.
It's tough.
Going out to a bar is a stressful proposition. Like, so much shit people need to do when I feel like we're at a point in life that just doing anything is harder than it's ever been. When it's like people just want to go to work, go home and chill. But now it's like, well, I need to try to fill this hole. That is hard, man. And so like, I feel for you there. So
you're a year and a half out of a 5.5-year relationship. That's still, I mean, that's a long time, but maybe you're just not over that person yet. And that's okay. But just remember, you're 27. You have literally your entire life ahead of you. If you were 43, that would be a different story. But 27, you've got a lot of time left. So just maybe you're not done processing those feelings. And yeah, maybe you got to just focus on yourself for a little bit and find other, spots of joy in the world. And one day when you're ready, you'll know when you're ready to get back out there. Okay. Wait. Mike snapping at me is my favorite thing.
He's snapping at that.
See this?
I'm snapping.
But he's looking directly into my soul right now.
Yo, you still there? Alexis?
No, that was
Alexis,
a super
Texas
chat.
wrote
Oh, it
in.
was a super chat. Fuck,
Yes.
We're dying, everyone.
Let's get you a call in, though, so you can talk with somebody.
Yes, appreciate
Jeff
that.
C. is on the line. Jeff C., come on in.
Hello.
Jeff, what's cracking?
What's up?
What's going on, guys? All right. Been a long time listener and watching all your guys' content.
Thank you
Funny
very much.
all around.
Thank you.
Information all around. My question is more of like, how do you tell someone that you're into them and you've been in a long-term like friendship with that person?
That is.
Look,
That's
here's the
rough.
real answer. You don't.
Yeah.
That's just, unfortunately, it's not what you want to hear, but that is the reality. There is a slim chance that you could be the 1 in a million that this isn't the case.
Right.
That, you're going to have this big moment where the two of you have a conversation and like it's been this way the whole time. You were meant to be, whatever. That is some movie shit that I have seen in my life. I can't think of a time it's happened. I can't think of a time it's worked.
Let's put it this way. It happens in movies all the time, but those movies from 2002 and they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, do you have any thought process that this person might actually reciprocate those feelings for you?
I'm probably oblivious to it because the dating game for me is like, I'm over the head with all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So she probably did throw some signs at me at one point, but I'm a dummy.
Well, maybe not. I mean, generally, look, everyone's different, obviously, but usually you know. Usually if someone is throwing signs at you like that, especially if you're a guy, you pick up on, we tend to pick up on those fairly easily because for me, at least, they were very few and far between. I mean, if this is going to be something that you're willing to sacrifice your friendship over, if you feel that strong about this person, you might want to express those feelings, but just know that I would give it a 90% chance that she might not reciprocate and it might forever alter your friendship. But that is a chance that you might have to take. The one thing I will say is the same thing I say every single time this happens. If she does not reciprocate, it is not her fault. It is no one's fault. You cannot hold that against this person. So that is the one thing that always ends up happening. Guys are like, well, she didn't like me. And then all of a sudden you start resenting her because you got rejected. Don't do that. That's not fair.
No.
That's not cool. But if you feel like you need to express that, I mean, honesty is the best policy. Say, hey, I like you. I feel this way about you. But again, just know that it might not go the way you want it to go. And that might be it for you two.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, man.
Like I said, it's just one of those like balances of, do I want to lose like a long-term friendship or do I just like put it out there on the line and see what happens type situation?
Look, man, everyone's different. And at the end of the day, you're looking out for you. But that second thing you just said is very selfish. And would you want to do that to somebody that like you care about that much? That's kind of the weird gamble. If it's worth it to you, hey, I can't tell you otherwise. But
I mean, here's the real question. Are you keeping this person in your life because you like them and you're too afraid to say this? Or do you really value that person's friendship? Because this is the shit. This is the stuff that I hear all the time. Sorry to say shit. This is the thing I hear all the time. This is the thing you see in movies all the time, where it's like, I'm really this person's friend. Meanwhile, all your friends are like, dude, you like her, and that's why you're hanging out with her. You don't really want to be her friend. You want her to one day come around. Is that the situation?
No, to be honest,
Okay.
I do like her friendship and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, but then it might be an easy conversation of just saying like, hey, we're really good friends. I might have some romantic feelings for you. I would like to explore that, but if you are not cool with that, like if you don't reciprocate, then no big deal, you know. And she might be like, "That's weird. I don't want to talk to you ever again," or she might be like, "No."
That is the response you should expect.
Yeah,
if you do that, like I feel like it is. That is a choice you are making. That is a line in the sand that you can't come back from. The moment that this happens, you cannot put the genie back in the bottle. So I feel like that's just kind of like the reality of it. That is not fun to hear, and it's not what you want to just be like. You know what? It works. Here's the thing you say, and then it's all fine. It just doesn't work that way, man.
But again, if you want to explore it, just do it as respectfully as possible, and you know that might not go your way.
Yes.
All right.
I would say.
Appreciate the chat.
Sorry.
Thanks for answering my question. No, it's
problem.
all good.
We get this
All right,
question every
thanks,
once in a while, and it's a tough one because it's always like, we want to look out for you.
Yeah.
It's all every friend needs to hear.
Right,
Yeah.
Jeff. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. A reminder to everyone right now, we have 50 minutes left. We will get to as many callers as we can that are currently on the hotline. But remember, we might have to cut off at a certain time. But if you would like to skip the line, don't forget that you can gift 5 Tier 1 subs over on Twitch or 5 gifted YouTube memberships to skip the line at any time to make sure your question is heard and answered. But up next, we have another call-in. Ignacio Rojas is on the line.
Oh, what's up, Ignacio?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, hello. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you
doing?
I'm doing good.
What's the update from last time?
No update at all.
No update at all. Last time we talked to you, you wanted to know how you could get out there and meet more people, and we said get some hobbies. Have you done that? Have you tried downhill skiing?
downhill skiing.
Okay.
That would be a tough one over here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, it kind. Okay, so thanks for remembering what my question last time was.
Of
course, man.
Because it ties a little bit into that. So I don't really have a question, but since you guys said that you are there for advices and for hearing us,
sure.
I thought that since I have you two guys, you are on the older side. Nick, you have been called once or twice an old fogey by some people. I don't know who.
Sure.
Tim, you are getting there.
It's true. He's got gray in the beard now. He's got gray in the beard now. Which one of us has more gray?
Nick, I'm getting there.
I know you are, bro. Look at this. That's Tim. Look, cut to me, Kevin.
See, Tim.
That's me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you are getting gray.
Oh yeah,
that's wild,
dude. I'm an old
the years of working with Mike.
Sure. The good thing is that no matter what happens, no matter how much time goes on, Nick will always be older than
That's
me.
fair. Well, not always. At some point, I will die.
Jesus.
And then you'll be older than probably I was when I died. Then you'll be older than me.
Something tells me you're gonna live a very long time.
Do you think I'm gonna live forever? Can you? Here's
I
the
didn't
thing.
say that.
Well, yeah.
Going from a long time to forever.
You think I'm gonna live forever, Roger?
I really hope he lives for a long time.
Here's a question for you, Ignacio. Hold on to the line. Feel free to chime in. Here's the real question: Who's gonna take care of me when I'm old? Roger, you gonna take care of me when I'm old?
What about your wife?
So
no. She's
Yeah, I'm assuming your wife is not.
No. I mean, we're the same age. So that's what I'm saying is when we're 80, 90, Roger, here's what's gonna happen. One day I'm gonna be 85 years old, and I'm gonna poop in my man diapers, and you're gonna get a call, Roger, and I'm just gonna say, Roger, it's happened.
Yeah.
And you're gonna know you got to come over and help me clean that bad boy up. Are you answering the call? Are you gonna take care of your mentor through his older years?
Your mentor.
Your mentor.
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially.
I mean, that's not a no.
Yeah, it's not enough.
No.
Not a no.
Also,
It's not enough.
I like how Nick said, "Oh, I'm gonna text Roger and say it happened." We all know Nick will text Roger poo poo.
Roger, I got a poo poo kiki.
Roger, Kiki.
Kiki poo poo, Roger.
Nick, I'll hose you down.
Thanks,
You know what I
Kev.
mean? If you come outside, I'll bring a hose.
Thanks, Kev.
Yo, what's your question here? Okay.
Get to the question.
Okay.
Down.
Okay, so where I was going and how it ties back to my question is that I'm 25 right now.
Yeah.
I'm currently
So young.
doing my master's degree. I still have maybe a year, maybe a little bit less than that.
Hell yeah.
And then, like I said last time, my plan is to eventually move to the US.
The States. Yeah.
And so I don't know if I call it fear, but it is something that I have in the back of my mind, is that I feel that I'm getting older. Now, granted, 26, I know it's not that old, but it feels like that. I'm getting older, and I feel like my life hasn't started yet. I'm still in college, whereas my high school friends are already with jobs, and they have their own significant others. Some might be getting married, and here I am waiting for my life to begin at maybe 26, maybe 27.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I would like your guys' opinion on that.
I mean, there's lots of
got you.
professions that are like that. You know,
you're getting your master's.
Yeah, dude,
Like-
you're working toward something great, and I think doing your master's is a totally realistic and totally good thing to be sacrificing other parts of your life, like having kids or doing other things that all your friends are doing right now. I think it's fine. I think you're on track. You're working on yourself and you're investing in yourself, and that's not bad. Don't forget, like doctors go to school for like 30 years. They don't start their life till they're like 30.
Yeah.
So, it takes a lot to invest in yourself, but you're doing the right thing. And I know it might feel that way when you're 25 years old, but when you're 30 and you've been working for 3 years, all that shit's going to equalize. It all evens out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, I feel like the age is such a interesting thing because it is different for every person. Like, everyone has a different experience. But I feel like going back to what I was saying earlier, like when you're in school, like there's a little bit more structure to it, and like the difference between being a freshman and a senior feels, or like middle school versus high school feels like this major thing. Whereas like Nick's 10 years older than me, and like at this point, it doesn't feel that way. Like it's easy to joke and all that stuff, but it's like we're just dudes that hang out, or just
a couple
friends.
of young dudes,
couple of
dudes.
young dudes,
Sure.
But like I was 25 when we started KindaFunny, and like that feels like a lifetime ago. Like
Really?
I
was 25. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was 25 when I got the job at IGN.
Yeah, and I was 25 when I met Gia too, and like the me and Gia part specifically came out of nowhere. Like, didn't see it coming. I thought I was going to be alone forever. And then, boom, I wasn't.
Sweet.
So it's like, literally, shit can just happen when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
And life can, like, kick into gear, and there can be so many things. Having said that, I do think that you learn so much going to school. Your elementary school experience, middle school experience, high school experience, college experience, so much of that can be so important to you. It's not necessary for every person, but the experience of being in my early 20s at IGN, being able to have a mentor like Nick Scarpino be there to honestly kind of like
don't know what you got,
teach you a thing or two about the workspace, I think is incredibly valuable, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. It wasn't necessary though. Like, I do think that, like, you can still have that moment being 26, 27. Like, you have so much time till you need to really be worrying about that stuff. I understand you're worrying about it. Good thing to care about. But so many of my friends that are my age, everyone's in different places in their lives. But I have a ton of friends now that are 34 that did go to school for a little bit longer than other people for a multitude of reasons, whether it's they needed the extra time for their learning style, or people that are doing master's degrees and things like that. And I love kind of see everyone kind of slowly starting to find success in their own ways, and on different timelines.
Yeah, I think you're in a good path, man. I think you really are. I think it's, I had a very similar thing too when I had a lot of my friends graduate from like computer science when they were 21 and go on to awesome careers, and I was shooting wedding videos. But it all evened out. I followed my passions and I invested in myself, and it took me a few more years longer, but it worked out, And like I said, once you're in your 30s, all that shit's an equalizer anyway, unless you have kids, in which case then your path is diverted in a different direction.
I think that's actually an important thing to bring up too. It's like, no matter how behind you feel when you compare yourself to other people, I don't think that ever goes away. It's like, if you compare yourself to others, you're going to be like, oh, I don't have that, or I do have this. Why don't they? Whatever. Just don't do that. And it's easier said than done. But it's like, look,
focus on yourself.
Everyone, focus on yourself. Focus on your needs, the people around you's needs, and all that. Like, I'm so excited for you, man. I'm so proud of you for doing the school thing. The master's is going to go so far for you.
What are you doing your master's in again?
Engineering. Yeah, I studied electrical engineering, and my master's degree's title is very generic. It's master's in science of engineering, but I'm working on optical communications and quantum communications.
Yeah, that's cool as shit. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
that sounds like stuff that's probably pretty relevant next year.
Yeah, I mean that's what I hope, that it helps me land a job somewhere around Silicon Valley. But I think that the reason that what I'm feeling this is that, again, like I mentioned before, I've never haven't dated anyone, and so I feel like I still haven't started a path that it's I don't know.
Dude, the amount of people that are 25, that are 30, that haven't dated anybody, like, just realize you're not alone. There are so many other people out there, which it's rough. It's hard. That's not saying that like, oh man, that's easy. But if you find those people, then it's a new experience for both of you.
You have to understand, when I was your age, all we had was 4 channels of television and rocks to play with. That's it. So we had to go out and find rocks. When you find a rock, if someone had the rock, you talk to them. That's how it was. Now it's complicated. Now it's complicated.
Throw the rock at the girl, and that's how you use conversation, right?
Fair enough. Now, Roger, did you get a text?
Yeah, I got a text.
What did the text say, Roger?
It said it happened.
It happened. That's practice. That's practice, Roger.
You know what you gotta do now. Wait,
you gotta do.
Before
Are you ready?
Before I go, Mike, was the question Craven's question, or was it your question, the orgy question?
Craven Moorhead's question.
Yeah.
Craven always has a question.
Craven always.
He always has a question.
What did
Craven
Washburn used to call him as?
What'd you say?
What was Washburn's?
Washburn was Craven Moorhead.
Oh, Washburn was Craven Moorhead.
I mean, Craven Moorhead is, it's the mask.
Oh, it's anyone can be Craven Moorhead.
Anyone can wear the head.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, Ignacio, good to hear from you, buddy. Stay the course.
good
You're
to
doing the
hear
right
you
thing.
guys. Thank you.
All right, man. Enjoy the night. Or the night.
CGR says, Kev, get the hose.
Let's keep it moving. Let's keep having some fun because we have some best friends still on the line. King Rabla is up next.
Yo.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy King Rabla.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Powerful voice. I love this.
Is the voice mod doing its job?
Are you voice modulating yourself right now? You sound very.
I mean, it's just to clear it up.
Fair enough.
Oh, you sound good. You sound
great.
Okay, good.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Hello, Timmy."
All right. I could do that
because I'm right behind you, behind the LED wall.
Hello, Timmy.
There it is.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm just curious what you guys think about my situation here. My ex-fiance is also my tattoo artist.
Okay.
It was a fast and loose engagement. Kind of got our initials in Norse runes tattooed on our ring fingers.
Whoa. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. A bit of a regret.
Bet it was exciting while it was happening.
She's back with her ex now. Oh my God, was it ever?
Yeah. This sounds like the kind of situation where you go, we all get it. Right? Terrible idea, but you had to do it. You had to go through it.
People were there.
You got to do it at least one time. Then you go
Absolutely.
hot and heavy for a second, and then you go, I will regret that for the rest of my life, but I will remember it. So what's the question?
Yeah,
the
that's
reality
so
is
true.
now you got to get a new tattoo artist, right?
Yeah, that's. I'm building to it.
Okay. What's the okay? What?
So
Go, keep going.
she's back with her ex from just before me.
Okay.
We still talk. In fact, we just talked like an hour and a half ago.
How many tattoos do you have?
How many tattoos? I can't count anymore, man.
Okay, cool. Cool. That's what we're doing.
So cool. Memento style.
Yeah, very memento. I recently had to call her out on the fact that she has been like calling me every few days.
Yeah.
Drunk dialing me, crying about missing me and
Bad
all
idea.
that stuff.
Bad idea.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Can't let this happen, brother.
So I called her out on that.
Yep.
How are you feeling?
I'm still like madly in love with her, honestly, man.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. This is tough.
So this is not
Like-
helping you at all.
No, this is just digging the hole deeper.
Oof.
Yeah, you got to cut this off. This is tough.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like
I
it's a
still
little
want
bit
to get
unhealthy.
tattoos from her too.
That's never going to happen. That you should not do. Because at a certain point, if you do what I think you should do, which is continue to prioritize your own mental health over hers, because you guys are not committed anymore, and she has a husband or a boyfriend. She went back together with her
boyfriend.
ex-husband, right? Boyfriend. So she has someone. She wants to make contact with you, but I think you owe it to yourself to not allow that to happen. But what I do fear is that you're going to be asking one day. She's going to turn a corner on that, start resenting you, and then you're going to wind up with some sort of crazy thing tattooed on your back that you're never going to see, right? Like you're gonna be like, I want a heart, and then you look
Man,
back
it's
and you're
jumping
like,
to worst case scenario here, but
you're like, God
there's
damn it,
always
you
a
put
chance.
Nick's face on my back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, my heart
So
Nick.
she's dating
there could be
this
worse
guy.
things.
This other guy is, and we're coming from a perspective here that I think there's a slim chance of this working out here. I'm sorry to say, but are they together, or was there like a bad moment or a bad situation that they were in?
Like you mean currently?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're currently together, but
All right,
everything
yeah, you
she's
gotta
been
move on.
saying,
You gotta move
she's on the ropes.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. That's unfortunate. I feel like, you don't deserve that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let me be clear. We've all been where you're at. And I understand the struggle. The struggle's real.
Oh yeah, man.
Right? When that temptation comes back in your life, when both physically
When the thing
and
you want
emotionally,
is saying, you know what, I want you. I fucked up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But more often than not, that is just her insecurities, her fears coming out in a way that's probably going to be very unhealthy for you. So, I mean, everyone, there is a difference if she was like, look, you are the one for me. I want to commit to you, but you guys already went down that road. It didn't work out. So I would say she's probably just trying to figure out what she wants, and she's taking it out on you, and that's not a good place for you to put yourself in. So be strong. Please guard yourself, and make sure you don't get any bad tattoos from her when and if inevitably resentment sets.
Yeah, good
no
luck,
problem,
man. Sorry.
I really appreciate it.
Don't do it. I know what you're thinking right now.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
I gotta be your friend and be like, don't do it, because I know you're gonna do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, man.
Okay.
I'm trying not to.
Don't do it. We've all been there. Don't do it.
Listen to Tim and Nick.
Get it.
Yep.
Listen to your big and little brother. All right, man. Go with God. Good luck.
All right. Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right. Craven just walked away for a second, but I think
we got a new call-in right here. We have it from Craven.
Oh, Craven Moorhead's calling it.
Craven's calling.
Oh, I haven't talked to Craven in a while. Craven, how's it going?
Hey, what up, everybody? It's Craven Moorhead here. I'm really
He didn't
excited to
bother
be on.
leaving the studio. I can hear him over there.
I thought he did leave.
I'm inside the studio. Thank you for taking my call. It is 2023, and my question is simple. Do I have to have social media in the dating age today, or can I finally get off all these apps? Not dating apps, but I mean social media apps.
Look, dude, there's just a reality to the reality we live in. If you don't have social media, a group of people out there, a large percentage of people out there are going to think that is a major red flag. They're going to think you have something to hide. They're going to want to have nothing to do with you, and they're going to expect the worst. Having said that, there's another large group that's going to be like, fuck social media. This stuff's all a mess. Nobody respects this shit. I love that you don't have this. Let's be private and live our own lives.
Yeah.
It really depends on what are you more interested in there. But know that not having it is a major red flag for people. And I know that firsthand from a lot of women in my life that are like, oh, this guy's not on the internet. I'm not even going to fucking touch that.
I would take it in a different direction, Craven, and thank you so much for calling. It's great to hear from you again. We've been, friends for years, and hope that continues to endure. I would say look at it from a standpoint of yourself. Is it eroding your own soul? And if that's the case, then no. Take care of yourself first. Why would you be on social media and hate your life every second of it, just on the odd chance that you might date someone that finds it weird that you're not on social media? I would say do what's going to be best for your mental health. And if that's staying off of social media, then just stay off social media. You could always start, in the terms of Craven, I'm sure Craven has at least 10,000 followers. That's a good enough history right there. You don't have to interact any more than that. Having said that, maybe throw your boy a retweet every once in a while when he throws out a hot clip on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe give me tell some people go follow me on Instagram at Nick_Scarpino. I just signed up for Threads. I don't think it's done yet. I think it's on here. There you go.
I do have a question. Like, is there an in-between, right? Like, could you just have the profile and just post maybe once a year?
No, that's creepy.
Or is that even weirder?
That's weirder.
Just, again, it all comes down to who are you? Who are you looking for? Like, what are you expecting from this? Because there's not a right answer. It's just, there's just the reality that it is a red flag to people. It's a green flag to others. Which of those flags means something to you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why I can never, ever, ever break up with my wife, or I have to be with her forever. Because if I wasn't doing this job, I wouldn't have social media. I would have Facebook, because comics, for some reason, you have to interact with Facebook, which is the bane of my existence. Why? Thank you for asking, Tim. Roger Picorni. Roger Picorni is the only person that will willingly make fun of me for having a Facebook account that I interact with. Does it lean into the old foginess of me? Yes. Do I have to have it? Yes. Does it kill a little part of my soul? Yes. Will Roger get the text from me when I'm 85 because of that? 100%. 100% he will. I don't know, Roger. Tough question. We live in the world of social media. Or you can just let Elon Musk do his thing, and then Twitter will just go away.
Yeah.
And that'll be great. And then we'll all be... I guarantee all of us will feel a weight lifted off of us for at least 5 minutes before we go back to whatever the newest fucking thing is, because we're addicted.
We're on what is it? Threads now. We're on Threads.
Threads, Blue, Hive,
I think that there is a million in betweens. I think it all comes down to being authentic to yourself, of how you want to present yourself, and understanding that people are going to see your social media how they're going to see it.
Yeah.
It's not how you're putting it out there. It's however they're going to see it. So just know that for every single thing you post, there's going to be equal and opposite reactions from whoever's looking at it. So it's like, what are you looking for? Who do you want to be? And it's scary out there, man.
I mean, it's also generational, right? The Xers like myself don't give a shit about social media. If you're 43 and you're just doing a job, no one cares about that. The millennials, you got to have the social media. Yeah. What I really want to know are, what are the Zers doing right now, Raj?
Oh, they have so much social media.
It's just so much social media.
I mean, I will say, like, when I was on the apps 5 years ago, I would see some people that did not have certain like apps. Like, they would just have an Instagram. They have one Instagram photo from like 2 years ago. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I feel that. I understand that. So.
And weird's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
It's just weird.
But it is like a little bit of just like, in this day and age, right? Especially being, the Gen Zers are so in the ether of the internet and TikToks and all that shit. So if you don't have it, it does feel a little bit like a question mark.
Interesting.
So I get that.
Mysterious.
That's a great question coming in from Craven Moorhead. Remember,
thanks,
anyone can wear the mask. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Another guy in the corner. It was weird.
Let's go on down to the hotline, because we have a couple more and 30 minutes remaining. Don't forget, you can skip the line if you would like to get your questions, comments, concerns read. Mystic Waffle's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello, Waffles.
Hello. Hold on.
We're holding.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
Okay. Mystic Waffle here. first of all, shout out to all the lovely callers. What a beautiful thing we're doing tonight.
Fantastic. I love it.
Well, Waffles, hold on 1 second. Mike, don't throw my cookie out. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Waffles. That was just very important. I need that. I got to shut up. I need some sugar.
Listen, chat. I've been with my wife a long time. 7 going on 8 years now. And recently, I did a new move.
Oh.
And the crowd went wild.
Wow, knocked it out of the park.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, if you're in your relationship and that part has hit a wall and it's plain Jane, something like that, don't be afraid to try that new move.
now I got to ask.
He has to ask.
Where did you? Well, I'm not going to ask what the move is. Yeah. We'll work our way into that. I got to ask, how did you discover said new move?
We were going through the motions as you normally do.
An inspiration just struck.
I said, you know what? I see something right there. I'm going to try something.
Okay. I mean, I'm very curious, and I don't want to press you for details.
I call it the isosceles.
The isosceles, like the triangle.
And we all know the rules of the isosceles triangle.
Exactly. Equal and opposite reactions.
So are you prepared to
describe what this is, or do you want to leave it purposely nebulous so that I can Google it when I get home?
I just want people to know that if that part of your relationship has just been going through the motions every single time you've been in a long relationship, just try something new. Try a new move.
I appreciate that. I think that's great.
Handjob Henry says over in the corner, we say yes to adventure.
We do say yes to adventure.
Handjob Henry.
I think that's really good advice, honestly.
Yeah,
and look,
yes to
I've been with my partner for 15 years. I'm going to, if I can figure out whatever this cryptic isosceles is, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
Right. You guys have a great night.
Yeah,
you too. Much appreciated, Waffles.
I love the advice. The call-in advice. That's good.
I like when people tell us
question.
Shit. Me too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank
let
you
them
so
know.
much, Mystic Waffles.
I love that. It's great advice. Thank you so much. Now, next up, we have Jonah Holland. Jonah,
welcome.
Hey, what is up, KindaFunny crew? I'm Jonah. It's a pleasure to meet y'all.
Jonah,
good voices all around.
That's what I was going to say.
What?
You're adding to a long lineup of just fantastic voices we have here with people listening to this show. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. Everyone, great radio voices.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate that. That is such a compliment coming from somebody from KindaFunny, as I've been listening to y'all since day one.
Thank you.
Quick fun fact, I literally grew up on a goat farm. I was milking goats every day listening to the original KindaFunny content.
Wow. That must have hit real hard on what I think is episode, 36 or something? Wow.
My guy, all I will say is yes, it's been a long road. No longer a goat farmer, actually a news reporter, but that has nothing to do with my question.
Awesome.
Very cool.
What is your question?
So, as I said, long time KindaFunny listener, I used to watch a particular show on youtube.com /KindaFunny that the two of you hosted, giving me lots of good advice. Thanks to this good advice, I'm in a great relationship. As a matter of fact, I am marrying the girl of my dreams.
Hell yeah, congratulations. That is so fantastic.
Wow. I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you. Part of me wants to thank the two of you for that. Although my question today is, hypothetically, there's this podcast that me and my fiance have been listening to for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
How do I invite the hosts of this podcast to my wedding in November in Memphis, Tennessee?
Memphis, Tennessee.
I will let you know from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate the invite.
That.
We have had to kind of just as a group decide we cannot be doing this.
Yes.
Because so many people ask, and it is so nice, and we are honored.
We are very flattered and very honored to do that. And we would like to send Roger as our emissary. So here's what I'm going to need. Roger's going to come.
No.
If you have multiple types, Roger, as your mentor, this is good for your growth, okay? Get off the social media apps, bring a gallon Ziploc bag, and bring Daddy back some wedding cake from Memphis, Tennessee. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Great. And I'll send some barbecue with y'all, too.
We appreciate it, man.
We
That's
really
awesome.
do appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for the invite, and congratulations on getting married, man. That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Thank you. Now, I knew that was going to be the answer. Just wanted to extend the invitation.
I appreciate it. Thank you for understanding.
So, I do want to say, little offended. Roger Picorni, I love you. You're an amazing editor. I actually look up to you quite a bit.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a little offended that you're not sending Snowbike Mike's beautiful yams.
To the wedding?
To the wedding.
I want you to know.
Kill it at the wedding. I haven't been to a wedding.
Kev,
as
can
an
we cut
adult.
to what's happening over
Kevin's
here?
smoking a cigarette right
He's
now,
not here,
but
that's
Mike,
why
come
I'm
over
doing
here
it,
and show
'cause
us the
nobody-
movie body
no,
over here.
Nobody can see it. You
Walk
just have
on,
to
walk on
imagine
stage.
it.
Mike, you can't do this for a no.
That makes it even better. Mike is dancing in the corner, is moving his body like he's at a rave, and no one can
This
see it,
video
just
floor
Roger.
is shaking.
Like, this is terrifying. And,
I'll go to a
sorry,
wedding.
sorry.
Mike.
Did you have a follow-up question to that, or is that it?
Well, okay. I mean, if I have the time, just a quick question. So,
Sure.
as I said, I am a news broadcaster or a reporter, I might say, for a national agriculture-focused show.
Very cool.
I don't want to work in agriculture, as you know, I grew up listening to KindaFunny and IGN. What would y'all recommend for someone fresh in the video production industry to get a leg up in eventually breaking into the video game industry? What would y'all recommend?
So,
I want to be the next Kevin.
It's simultaneously getting a lot harder and a lot easier. I think that the amount of opportunities at jobs are dwindling by the day. I think the amount of opportunities of you creating something yourself have never been better, never been easier to be able to just do a thing, do many things, learn many things. And I have seen this happen time and time and time again. The more skills you teach yourself that you're actually enjoying doing, the higher a chance that somebody out there that's doing something cool is going to see that and be like, well, that's what's up.
That's it.
Like, we talk about this so often. How did we first come across Roger, Snowbike, Mike? Because they're standout members of the community doing their own thing, creating stuff. Then we see that stuff, and I'm like, that is incredible, incredible stuff. Boom. Andy Cortez started doing amazing art, did art of us that got our attention. It's kind of cheating in a way, but guess what? No, it's not. That's just how this works. Be somebody people want to work with, and then that's kind of just the best advice I can give. Having said that, there are only limited positions out there in the world. I think it's like the worst time to actually be trying to get into like video games media from pretty much any perspective, because there are only a grand total of 30 positions across all of the outlets at this point, and most of them are taken. So it's a bummer thing. However, so many opportunities for you to do cool shit. And I do think that you being at a news station gives you an opportunity to do something that Greg did early in his career, which is use the resources and advantages you have there to try to do something that you actually want to do and get that in front of the right person where you already are. Because you got a position there, you're reporting on agriculture, all the hot carrot tips and things like that. You can
corn and beans, baby.
That's it, right?
It's all about corn.
Take that, shoot some stuff on the side, and like make some projects, make some fun little man on the streets, little walk and talks, all that stuff. Reporting on some things you actually want to talk about.
Yeah, I would. Jumping off that, I would say if there's a lateral move you can make in news, that's always huge too, right? The old adage in entertainment it's not what you know, it's who you know. Still rings true. If you can network, if you can find other spots at other organizations that maybe are doing tangentially something in the entertainment or video game world, that might be a good thing for you to identify and actively go after. Games journalism is tough. And like Tim mentioned, those positions are sort of evolving and changing and dwindling. But news is a broad spectrum of things, and you already have your foot through the door. So you're already probably miles ahead of the average person graduating with a production degree right now, which is great. So I would just say, really sit down and think like, hey, what are the things that I know? Where are the pathways that'll get me to my goal? How do I back that up into like, who do I know that I can reach out to right now, and just start working those relationships and start networking.
And also on top of that, like, you know this stuff. Like, I hear it in your voice, the way you're talking to me. It's like, you know how to do this stuff. So do it and find the right person to sell it to. And by sell, I don't literally mean like a transactional thing. I mean, video games are the biggest industry in the world. We talk about that all the time. News sites want people to be able to cover it that way. You just need to show them, hey, we got a guy that could do it. We could just do this, and then prove it to them that way, and then they're going to want it. I've seen it happen a million times.
Now, Mike, I think your mic may have gone out. Is that what Kevin is?
No, he was like kind of playing with it, and it is getting picked up. So
Stop
it's up.
playing
I was
with your
rubbing my
mic,
finger
Mike.
on it.
Take your finger off the triangle maneuver over there, Mike.
All right, we're gonna cycle you out. Thank you so much for hanging out and calling in.
Thank you again for that wonderful
Yeah,
invite.
thank you so much for the
Roger
time.
will
I
enjoy
really
it.
do appreciate it.
All right,
No problem.
good luck.
Roger will be at the wedding.
Roger will be there.
I'll miss the yams though.
We'll send you a picture.
Hey, Mike. Now that we got the cam on you, can you show them the little dance you were doing?
Yeah, give us a
Yeah, do the little dance. No.
No. Show them what you showed us.
They'll get it.
They'll
You'll
get it.
see
Yeah, they'll get it.
Let's get our
Mike
next
does this
person
thing
up.
where
Who
he
do
goes
we
like
got?
he like
We
pops his chest.
We got next up. We got Robo Borealis.
Robo Borealis.
Borealis.
Let me hear add to the litany of awesome voices.
Morbius.
Robo, what's going on?
Not in here yet. Yeah, I did.
Robo Borealis has to accept being brought up live.
You got to
on the
accept
stage.
it.
You gotta accept.
Maybe they're taking a little snooze break. Let's do this. Robo. Oh, there you go.
Robo. Where are you, Robo?
RoboCop, what's going on?
I want to see the Aurora Borealis one day. It's one of the few world things that I'm like, you know what? That'd be pretty sick to see.
Tim, what if we did this? What if we told our significant others that we were going on vacation with each other?
Uh-huh.
And then we just got a house someplace and just played video games for 2 weeks.
That sounds really good.
And then we told them that we saw the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
And they were like, what was it like? And we just said,
Beautiful.
together, it was magical at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Magical.
Y'all hear me, right?
Oh, yeah, now we
there
do.
you go.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me, y'all?
We can now. Can you hear us?
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. All
What's
right.
up, Robo?
I can hear y'all.
Perfect. What can we do for you on this fine evening?
I have been with.
Yeah?
I have been sort of seeing a lady for about the past 2 months.
Congrats.
And I am not sure how it's going because she very initially early on told me that she didn't want a relationship.
Okay. So maybe she doesn't want a relationship, or is it just
Which was fine,
and she just wants to
but,
focus on the
the
physicality of what's
prob-
going on? Yeah, continue. Sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth or hers.
Well, everything's going great.
Okay.
We're great friends. Yeah, we're great friends. We're in the same sort of music scene, and I'm a musician in the area of my town.
Cool. But you are officially when you say you're.
I've been
okay.
sort of seeing signs of jealousy, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Okay, so let me get the situation correct. Can you hear me?
I'm not a very jealous person.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So you're casually dating someone. She told you that she doesn't want a relationship, but now she is potentially showing signs that she does want a relationship and may want to be exclusive with you, is what that sounds like to me. Are you open to that?
That's exactly what I think it might be, but I'm open to the idea.
Okay. Well, then I would say be open to it, and maybe here's the thing: there's plenty of ways relationships start. One of the ways is someone says, "I don't want a relationship." What they're really saying is, "I don't want to get involved with someone that might be bad or I might not like 6 months from now, or whatever." That's a security mechanism, right? Or maybe you just want to have sex, whatever. I don't know. But that can evolve and that can change. And if you're open to it, then be open to it. And you can always revisit that conversation, as can she. She can always be like, "Hey, I thought this is what I wanted, but it turns out you're actually a pretty cool guy, and maybe we want to make this a little bit more exclusive." The only way you're ever going to know, though, is if you have a conversation about that. And
I feel like this is maybe the easiest question to answer tonight, which is sounds like you guys have talked before, and there has been the communication of where she's at. I feel like you can have a follow-up conversation now of hey, let's have where we at? Let's do a temperature check on how I'm feeling, how you're feeling,
vibe check,
and where's this going?
How does that sound?
Well, we went out the other day to a 4th of July party because it was great. There were some music friends of ours there. I actually got up on stage and played music, but one of the other musicians that was on stage, her and I had a little fling about 2 months before I met this new girl.
Okay.
And it was only 3 weeks, real quick, sort of, 3 times in, 3 weeks, real quick. But she knows that. I told her, I was honest. I was like, yeah, that girl I've been with. And she was very awkward about it and kind of feels hurt because that girl is very much avoiding her and I and conversating, or she's avoiding her, essentially. The girl came up to me, the first girl, the previous, came up to me and talked to me, but kind of did not talk to her at all, even though that they know each other too a little bit.
That's tough.
Rough.
I mean, look, it's tough. You had something with two people, and they might not vibe.
What's the rule, Nick?
Which rule?
What are the
always
rules?
use lube. Rule number one. Don't shit where you eat.
There you go.
Right.
I think it's very applicable here.
Well, I mean, yes and no. In that it's not like that's fair. They are in the same music scene. That is true. I guess that technically is your job.
An example here of
yes,
like,
that is
you
a
know,
perfect
of like
example.
when you're in the same circle and you're making decisions, those decisions are going to have ramifications. Again, I do think that there's a way to talk through this with both or one of them, depending on what matters. But it's very, very complicated, and these are the issues that happen.
Also, look, let's be perfectly honest, folks. There are people out there that can meet someone else's former significant other and be cool with it. It's tough. That's rough, right? You have to be extraordinarily confident to be with someone that you might have feelings with and see the person they had sex with 3 months before and be like, I'm cool with this. This is an okay situation. And more often than not, you're not going to be okay with that. It's going to be a weird situation to be in. You're not going to know what to say. And so maybe you just choose not to interact with the other person because it's awkward. You got to just be aware of that, right? Like, I don't know how I would react if I had just started dating someone and they're like, oh, yeah, that was the person I banged previously, like a month ago. That would be tough. It would be really hard.
It is rough. But again, it comes down to communication. I think that you need to have a nice little reset conversation with her. And also be prepared to have an answer yourself. Where are you at? What are you looking for from this? What are you liking? What are you not liking about the current relationship? And I think from starting that conversation there, you'll then be able to have a further conversation of, hey, there's this other woman that we had the situation. That is not the situation anymore. What is the situation moving forward? And then can that work or can it not work?
That's really good advice, Tim. I like it. Like I said, she said early on in the relationship, you know, the new girl, that she was not into relationships, but liked me, wanted to have some fun. So we have been.
Cool.
And about a week ago, she kind of reiterated that during one of our little conversations that I need to work on myself. I'm, you know, not really ready for a relationship, but I still like hanging out with you. So it's kind of two sides with her. And, you know, I like the steady sex that we have.
Sure.
And the like steady hangs, but I'm also a very sociable guy. I play music in the scene and I get a lot of attention from all sort of people. And I'm very committed. I can be very committed to one person, but it's also like, I could also have fun, you know?
Hey man, do what's right for you. Like honest, just as long as you're being honest with people and not hurting people, like you're in a good place, man. I feel like the problems you're having right now are easily solved with a couple conversations.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think
Thank you
you're
so much. First time, long time. Love
No
you
problem.
all.
Appreciate you having a good night.
People are saying there might be a bit of a lag.
Snap it up.
A bit of a lag.
I think it was just that one call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hopefully, at least.
We have 15 minutes left.
Love it.
So callers, when you call in, let's keep it quick. Let's keep it fast. We're going to try to hit as many of you as we can. Coming up next, Nick.
See.
Oh, God, you're so good at this.
Who we got?
Nick C.
Nick C.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Nick? How you
How
doing?
you doing?
Not too bad. So get right into it. I've been single 6 years now. I'm 26. I've only been in like one serious relationship. And recently my family and friends have been kind of encouraging me to kind of get out there and whatnot. And I don't really have any interest in it. I'm just very focused on finishing school and my career. But I do tend to get like lonely sometimes and have those sexual desires. But I don't know. Every time I tell them that, they look at me like I have three heads. So I'm just wondering if I should be more open to putting myself out there.
I mean, you're finishing school, you're working on yourself. I don't see anything wrong with that necessarily. I think you should always be open to other people coming into your life in a positive way. But you said you were 27?
26, yeah.
26. I mean, you're at that place, you know, like a lot of people calling that place where you're just kind of doing you right now. I don't see any particular reason why you should. If you're happy, are you happy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, so that's the thing is like you got to look out for you when it comes to this type of thing. Like you being out there, finding a partner, all that stuff, like it can't be for your family. It can't be because the people around you are pressuring you. It has to be because it's what you want. And the loneliness you're talking about, like, look, people, it's not a binary thing of just like, I want this or I want that. There can be like the wiggle room of like, I want to be just doing me right now, but every once in a while, I'm kind of lonely. That's okay. Like, that's real. That's life. So I feel like it's okay to have those feelings and not be out there on the grind to find a partner right now when it sounds like you are working really hard on other things in your life that are important to you at this moment. And that is a great thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you. It's nice to kind of get a feedback without a bit of judgment. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And again,
all right, thanks for calling.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks so much, Nick C.
Hell yeah, Nick. Do you, big dog. Enjoy life. More life, as Drake would say.
That is what he would say.
That's what he would say.
How much to get Mike to pop and lock again? That's what I want to know.
Maybe
what do I got to
10 minutes
donate?
left. Maybe.
What do I got to donate, Howard, to watch you move your body again?
Maybe I'll move my body like a cyclone. Up next, who do we got, Raj?
We got Hokage Hooks.
Ho!
Hooks. What's going on? Hello.
Hooks. There we go.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Shout out to the best community out there, the best friends community.
Right on. Man.
But I just want to, I'll keep it short and simple, but it's kind of loaded. It's been 6 years since me and my ex-girlfriend broke up. We also have a 5-year-old who will be turning 6 this fall. We just started a new co-parenting agreement where, like, I'm just going to be with him a lot more. Everything's going well. We've always had a pretty healthy relationship. Just beforehand, it was always kind of a handshake kind of thing. But I just want to know, because it's been something I've been thinking about probably for like 2-3 months, but like, is that something I should think about getting back together with her, or has it been too long? Also, context, when we originally broke up, she's like, it's like getting back together is a possibility, just like not right now, because like it was just at the time her pregnancy was a lot for both of us, and we didn't know how to communicate about it. But I'll just circle back. Like, do you guys think that's something I should talk to her about, or like throw out there?
The question is, do you want that? Is that something you see yourself wanting?
Personally, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so
then there's the answer.
Do you think she wants it?
I guess that's the question. Like, because I just don't want to throw it, like, because we do have a really healthy relationship, and everything is like, I couldn't be happier. It sounds like she's like everything's pretty as great as it could be.
And
So
you're worried about screwing that up if you introduce this new element potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, it sounds like you guys have a very, very healthy relationship and a very, very healthy dialogue back and forth. If you're actually co-parenting and that's going great, that's a rarity. Yeah, that's very weird. I mean, not weird. That's great. That's fantastic, and it looks like you guys have done a lot
trust me. My parents are divorced, so I've seen the other end.
It usually goes the other end. So if you still have feelings for her, and it sounds like you guys are able to communicate openly, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to broach that topic and say, hey, things are going great. The reason we broke up was because was not because we didn't love each other. Maybe you should want to boil that conversation up again. It's going to be difficult, but I think you can probably do that. Tim, what say you?
I'm going to tell you, I 100%, based on just everything you said here, I feel like you guys need to have that conversation. Yeah. Like just the tone of your voice, the way you talked about this, it feels like there's a lot of maturity. And if just from hearing what you're saying here, I'm sure there's so much I don't know, and there might be a lot you don't even know here. It sounds like the timing you're talking about of like how many years it's all been. The problem that you guys faced was the pregnancy, which makes sense if I'm doing my math right. You were 20 years old, right?
I was 19. She was 18. Yeah.
You guys are
exactly. If you guys are getting along now, I think this is a very different situation than the, hey, we're friends. I should I tell her my feelings, whatever. No, you guys have a very different type of relationship. There's a connection here that is, I mean, a literal physical person that you guys are co-parenting. So you're not just friends. And if you're feeling this way and you feel like things are going great, I think that, again, no expectations or anything. It's all about please listen to her. And, but I do think
it's all about communication.
It's all about communication. And it sounds like you guys are in a great place to communicate here.
But again, like our first caller, you have got to be open to the fact that maybe she doesn't want this, and you have to be okay with that. And I don't mean okay with it like I'm fine with it, but then you're gonna go sulk in the corner and take it out on her and resent her, and then you're gonna take it out on your kid at some point. It doesn't sound like you're going to, but understand there's a very real possibility that she might be like, no, I've moved on and this works for me. And then you guys are going to have to work through that because that'll be a whole new energy, but you can't take it out on her or anyone. You just got to be okay with it.
We just go back to what we've been doing.
Perfect. Yeah. Then, and obviously do not, the flip side of that coin, don't go out and buy her a ring right now. If she's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Don't be like, great, we're getting married. You work through it. You might even have to go to some couples therapy to work through any issues you guys might have left over. And I'm a big advocate of that. So, but that could all be a very, very positive thing and bring you guys closer. And then you guys are a family unit again.
No, awesome.
Could
Thank
be cool.
you guys.
Yeah, good luck
Best
with
of luck
this.
to you.
Yeah,
that
for
sounds
sure.
awesome. That sounds like very positive.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Shout out to the best friends.
All right.
Shout out.
Talk
You
to
love
later.
to see it. You love
really
to see
do.
it, Tim. You love to see those love connections happening, coming and going.
What a great story. I love this. The amount of the varied types of stories we got tonight, I think, again, is a very important thing. That just like, yo, this stuff's not easy. And everyone's dealing with like different complications. But even very complicated situations like that can be healthy and also have room for potential even betterment.
Could be cool. I mean, look, could work. Could work very much. Mike, who's next?
I love that. We got one final caller this lovely evening. Let's keep it sexy, Marco M.
Marco, who is your daddy and what does he do?
He has not joined the call yet.
Fair enough.
There he goes.
I was
Marco
like,
just
that sounds
jumped
like a
on.
lot like Kevin.
Yeah.
Marco, what's going on?
Oh, a lot, you know. I guess should answer your question. My daddy is Giuseppe. He was a podiatrist.
That was the best answer. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Love, Sex, and Suffering Month. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for that, Marco. What's your question?
I guess like navigating some career advice with interview process and how to handle the rejection.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. Rejection with interviews is rejection's rejection, man. It's tough. It's tough to be told that they're not what someone's looking for. But I mean, what has specifically been happening? You've been interviewing for jobs. Has this been how many have we been on so far?
I mean, I've already lost count, so that's not great. But I quit my steady job last year. It's almost coming up on a year in September. And it just hasn't really worked out. I did decline a job offer.
Okay.
Because it was a rapid move to Idaho.
That's
and
rough.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I wanted to do that.
Well, I mean, but that tells me that you have options, right? That's a positive thing. That somebody offered you a job, and it's great that you're in a position where you can say no to that. So that's positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, again, this is another one of those answers that's not like a fun thing. It's not necessarily going to help anything specifically. But I do think that you just need to understand the reality that there are so many factors at play when it comes to interviews of who's interviewing you, what they're being asked to do. Are you the 10th interview they've done in the last 4 days for this role that they already have predetermined things they're looking for? And all these different factors are at play here. So don't take it too personally. And I know that, again, that's easier said than done. But all you can do is learn from every single experience, try to see the way that they react, and try to make it better the next time you do it. And just don't take it as you losing. Just take it as, hey, this didn't work out.
It might also be time to change tactics. If you're going on these interviews based on like cold calls, or you're submitting resumes and they're calling you back and it's not working out, you're not getting what you want, it might be time to be a little more proactive and start identifying people that you can reach out to, not even for an interview, but potentially places that you want to work at that you can start interviewing them for, and potentially making those networking connections. Because a lot of times, when people get hired for things, it's less to do with about a cold interview, more to be like, hey, I got this great candidate that I know, and now the position's open, and they just give you a call and go, hey, do you want this job? So there's a lot of different ways to go about it, but I would say maybe for your own sanity's sake, change it up a little bit and see if you can't get on LinkedIn or can't identify some companies that you want to work for, and start figuring out if there's ways to create connections there.
Yeah, I also think that in this the era we're in now with so much remote work, everything's just gotten so much more open, which is a blessing and a curse for people looking for jobs, where you can now apply for jobs anywhere you want, but there are so many more rules attached to it of what they're looking for. And I know from a lot of people I know, in the Bay Area at least, there are like brackets of where you live, and even if you're remote, it changes your pay scale depending on are you in a tier 1 city or a tier 2 city, 3 city, 4 city, whatever that is. And because of that, just the budgets that companies have, they are required to interview a ton of people, but they're like, we're not hiring a tier 1 city. We're only hiring a tier 3 or 4, whatever that is. And
they want to pay Idaho rates, not San Francisco rates.
It's just out of your control. It's really unfortunate, but just again, don't get discouraged because it's not necessarily you.
Right. You'll find something. I promise.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was down in the dumps this past weekend because I got the denial on a Sunday, and that was tough to hear.
That's tough, but it'll make you stronger. It will, and then it'll make it even better when you find that job that you're happy with. So hang in there. Don't get discouraged, and maybe try some different things. Maybe try some new techniques.
Show them some new dance moves.
Show them the triangles technique. Yeah, the isosceles triangle. See if that happens.
Thank you so much.
Talking to you guys.
Yeah,
good talking to you too, man. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Great,
Mike.
I believe that's it.
I love working on new moves, Roger. And I love trying new things. And we tried a lot today. We talked a lot.
Sure.
We opened up a lot.
Yeah.
And I really like that. That's what I love about this show, and I love being a part of it. So thank you to Nick and Tim for having me.
Yep, that's his name. That's the name of the guy that hired you.
Dixie Long Dick over here. Tim and Nick, you guys get to close out the show. Thank you to everybody that called in.
Are we going to see the dance or no?
Yeah, are you popping them on?
Yeah. I mean, you guys say goodbye, and I'll start doing the dance.
All right. Well, as we say goodbye, Kev, could you actually bring the jib back over to Mike or Craven?
Jib is like, nope. I'm going to finish this move no matter what.
As we close this out, thank you all for hanging out with us. Remember, this only happened because of your support over on patreon.com/kindafunny.
You're not even in the
Yeah, no, you got to get on the floor. Get on the...
Get back on the floor.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
God, you're a specimen.
If you want more of this,
you're such a specimen.
Just, hang out at Kinda Funny. YouTube.com/KindaFunny and Patreon.com/KindaFunny. All your support allows us to do so much cool shit. We got 2 more of these coming later this year. We got a whole bunch of other... We were talking about something earlier today about something that's happening because of Patreon. I don't remember what it was. Within the last 2 hours, me and you.
Mike and Nick, movie nights. We have more movie nights that are coming up because of Patreon. We have some special stuff coming up in August for Patreon.
We got some childhood videos coming.
Nick's childhood videos.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of great stuff.
But I love hanging out with y'all. This has been so much fun. Thank everybody for being so positive and supportive of each other. And that's what we like to do here at Kinda Funny. So if you have any questions for next time, start thinking about, the KFAF holiday special. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
There will be more KFAF later this year because of your support. Now, thank you all. Again, I love you all. Until next time, honesty, communication.
And
That's
lube.
all about. And lube.